Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the fifth meeting of the Joy of Coding here at Portland State University. It's a hot one. I hope everybody's staying cool and that you're able to comfortably participate in class tonight. Some people are here in the classroom where it is nice and air conditioned. And I hope people at home also have access to lots of water so you can all take care of yourself in this very hot weather that we're having right now. We are, let's see here, this is now week 3 of the course, and we're getting into some cool stuff. So, so far in the course, you've seen me do a lot of coding, showing you how to get started with the koans, the test-driven development that we did last week. This week, we'll start doing pair programming. You'll have an opportunity to write code with others. Tonight, volunteers will have an opportunity to pair with me. And then on Wednesday, you'll have the opportunity to pair with each other. And I'll remind you a couple times, but next Wednesday is the first time that you'll be required to be here in class. You'll not be able to, the Zoom, the Zoom won't be an option for next Wednesday. Sorry, this Wednesday. And the Wednesday after that. So yep, July 10th, here in person, and same thing on July 17th here. Oh, actually, no, okay, I guess on next time, if you want to pair remotely, we'll give you that option. So I guess it's only absolutely required to be here next Wednesday. It's coming Wednesday. Let's see here. Also, the koans are due before class, so I hope everybody's made some really good progress on them so far. You kind of should be finishing up. And let's see here. Oh, there was an important message posted on Slack about the submittal process. If you entered a Gmail email for when you fill out the survey, it turns out that it ain't going to work. So then you have to use in @pdx.edu one instead. I posted about that over the weekend. Let's see here. Oh, and your second quiz is also due on Wednesday. Next, I'd like to open up for questions. What can I tell you about what we've covered so far in class, working with Git, working with Java language? Yeah. Yeah, more about the plan of attack. Sure. Yeah, we covered a lot on Wednesday. So the plan of attack is described here in this documenting your code for the joy of coding handout. That. The plan of attack, I'm looking for a couple of paragraphs that describe your approach to Project 1. Now, granted, there isn't a lot for Project 1, but I think you'll be able to say a few things about how you're going to approach it, what your testing strategy is, maybe some of the gotchas that you're looking for, how you're thinking about organizing your main method, for instance. The goal here is that I'm looking for you to demonstrate that you thought a little bit about the project before diving in, so that you have a roadmap ahead of you. I think for the first one, because again, the Project 1 isn't terribly complex, and so then I wouldn't expect nearly as much content as say the POA for Project 4, Project 5. And again, that ought to be, please submit that as an email to me with a POA in the title, and it's due 3 days before the project is due. Projects are due on Wednesday evening, and so that means that the POA is due on Sunday evening. So Sunday at 6 p.m. I don't know what's on this quiz. Quiz 2? I logged on to quiz 2 is about Java language and object-oriented programming. Okay, so that's what it's about. So I guess that was one of the questions I just went by. Sorry, what? Oh yeah, the structure. Yeah, all the quizzes are short answers. Yeah, so I mean it's not multiple choice. It's not like true false. It's like this is a senior level course, and so multiple choice seems kind of silly. So instead, I want you to think critically and be able to articulate answers, answers about the concepts that we covered. Yeah, I think most of them can be answered in 1 or 2 sentences. I think this is sort of what I'm looking for there. Yeah, short paragraphs, not like the whole ChatGPT dialogue. How's everybody doing on the koans? People making progress, I hope. Saw a few people submitted. Thank you for submitting early. Actually, I had kicked the tires on the submission process, and there was a problem this time, so I'm glad we found that. Any other questions about test development or unit testing, anything that we saw there? No? I hope you've had an opportunity to break ground on your project one. I know you're finishing up your koans and everything, but project one is due on the 17th. So please get started on that as soon as you're done with your koans, just to make sure that you can build everything and you sort of understand enough about the project to be able to make some progress. Yeah.
Project one, can you talk a little bit about the parameters or the parameters for the
Oh yeah. So the command line arguments.
Yeah.
You want to know more command line arguments? Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. So yeah. Oh, sorry. I guess that's more than I want to release this. Okay. Let me make it a little wider. So when you run the main method of the phone bill, there are some options followed by options which are optional, and then there are arguments which are required. And so there are 2 options, dash print and dash readme. And then there are 5 arguments: the customer, the caller number, the callee number, begin and end time. The begin and end time each take up 2 command line arguments, meaning that there's a space there's a space between the date portion of the begin time and the time portion of the end time. Does that make sense? Okay. Yep. Yeah. So that's in general, but I think you brought a specific question. Yeah.
Yeah, so follow-up is it valid for like
Yeah. What happens if both dash print and dash readme are provided? Whenever you see dash readme, all you do is print the readme. You don't do anything else. No more command line checking, no other operations. So even if the rest of the command line is completely valid, doesn't matter. You see readme, you print readme again, and that's it. Sorry, readme in return. That's it. Good question. Options always appear before arguments. So, I see what you're saying. I'm not going to test that, so you can do whatever you want. So yeah, I'm not going to test the scenario where dash readme appears after the first argument. Yeah. Actually, you'd probably do something like, if it was a customer and then dash readme, you would interpret that as the caller number and say an invalid caller number. But yeah, I'm not going to test that. Thanks. Okay. What else? What else can I tell you? Great. Thanks for asking questions. I appreciate it. And if any questions come up, between classes, feel free to reach out to the channel, the Joy of Coding channel there in Slack. Unless you have, with a general purpose question, maybe something that's very specific to your assignment or grade that you got, of course, direct message me. Okay. Tonight, we're going to begin exploring pair programming and using test-driven development to work with other people. So, Another technique in contemporary software development, beyond test-driven development, is pairing. And this is, a technique that is found to help people produce better code faster, to enjoy the work they do more, and to learn very quickly because there are two minds on a problem. So we're going to talk a little bit about pair programming. I'm going to share some highlights with you, and then we'll spend a good chunk of class in an activity where you'll get to experience pair programming with me by doing a very simple, what's called code kata. It's FizzBuzz, you might have heard of it. And that's tonight. Then on Wednesday, we'll spend about an hour or so doing a kata, which is a little bit more complex, but still pretty simple overall, called Leap Year. And then next week, Wednesday, we'll do another pair programming activity that will be, even more more challenging. And so then it's a big part of the course is being able to experience what it's like coding directly with others. All of the code that we're going to write for these pair and then later the mob programming sessions and also the refactoring kata that we're going to do in a couple of weeks, or maybe that's just next Monday, is all in a repository called Kata's Summer 2024. And this is a GitHub repository that we're all going to share and we're all going to contribute to, which is part of the learning experience. So when I first started doing pairing in pair programming in the class, we started out by having each student or each pair create their own repository. That just took a long time. You probably remember what it was like setting it up on the first day, right? You had to sort of follow all the instructions and everything, and then you had to share it with people so that both pairs could commit, and that ended up taking just too much time away from pair programming. And so what I've been doing the last couple of times is I have one repository that we all contribute to, and I think this is a good thing to learn how to do. What it's like, working on a repository where lots of other people are committing to it at the same time. Now, you shouldn't be working on exactly the same code at the same time, so there shouldn't be conflicts, but you will have changes come in from other people. This repository was created from the Getting Started repository, so things, it should look pretty familiar to you. Like it's got top-level POM, then it's got some directories with the katas in it. We'll explore some more of that later. So what I'd like you to do is, kind of on your own tonight, especially if you're going to be pairing with me, if you want to pair with me. Actually, no, regardless. Everybody, please make a clone of this repository in your local development environment. You won't be submitting anything from there, so you don't need to go through the PSU machines or anything like that. Just do it on whatever machine you use for development. And then please run Maven W clean verify from the top-level directory just to make sure that everything builds for you. And then open it up in IntelliJ so that you can play along both tonight and then next week when you're pairing with someone, you'll have the code all ready to go. Now, you're going to need to be able to push to this repository, and for that, I need to grant you permission to do so. I need to grant your GitHub user permission to do so. I mean, lots of people have already, there are people whose GitHub IDs I knew from when you ran the survey program, and then some other people sent me their GitHub IDs. Please check your email for an invitation, but also, let's see here, collaborators and teams. I got to enter my permission code. So many factors. Here, I'm going to paste something in Slack here, and I'm going to go to coding. So check this URL to see if I have invited you to the Kata's GitHub repository. A number of you have opened invitations, and that's fine. You don't have to do it before now. But yeah, please make sure that you can access this because both tonight and then in the subsequent weeks when you use this repository, you're going to want to be able to commit your code, push your code. up to the GitHub. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, it does not need to be the Linux server. Again, you can do a clone on your local machine. You only need to do it on Linux if you're creating projects. Creating Maven projects. I create the Maven projects for you, and you're not going to be submitting any of this code. So the Linux machines aren't necessary. If you find that you don't have an invitation from me after visiting that URL, please IM me, and I will send you an invitation. I will add you as a collaborator. I don't know, during break tonight or before Wednesday. But by doing this now, it saves some time on Wednesday. It's super awkward for someone to write a whole bunch of code and then not be able to push it. This GitHub invitation is for pair programming. Yes, for pair programming, for mob programming. Basically, the code that we write together, it will be that code. Okay. So again, one of the benefits I realized of having this is that you get to experience what it's like with lots of people all collaborating to the same GitHub repository. Yes, please message me on Slack if you don't have access to that repository. Awesome, good. Thanks for checking in all that. Again, it'll save us time on Wednesday or tonight. Okay. So I hope you all had a chance to review the lecture about working with others. Just the first part of it, it's all about pair programming. There's also a screencast. Pair programming isn't just like a free-for-all. There's actually structure there, especially when you're first starting out. Understanding the structure and some patterns and anti-patterns for pair programming is very helpful to help you make the experience meaningful and get the benefits of pair programming. So pair programming is all about two people working together in real time to solve a problem at a computer. It's not one person listening to the other. It's not one person, going off and doing something completely different and sort of checking in every once in a while. It really is a conversation, right? One of those anti-patterns is that one person's typing and nobody's talking. So it helps us, because we're working together, because we are finding and fixing problems as soon as they occur, and getting good feedback through things like test-driven development. Things can solve faster. You get higher quality code with a lot less effort when you've got two people working on it. And you end up with code that two people understand because they've written it together. One of the problems that I see a lot is that there are entire swaths of code bases where only one engineer knows anything about it. And that's a real risk, really, to everybody, right? That person can't go on vacation, the rest of the team is blocked when that person is out sick, and someone can be pigeonholed. It's like that's, all you get to do is work on that piece of software or that particular component because you're the person that knows about it. So, as I was saying, pair programming works best when there's a little bit of structure, especially at the beginning. And the sort of traditional roles that each person takes on are as follows. One person in the pair is what's called the driver. The driver is the person whose hands are on the keyboard at that moment. They are inputting code. And they think very tactically about what needs to be done. What's literally the next, what's the next key I need to press on the keyboard? What is the next line of code that I need to write? The other person in the pair is called the navigator, right? And this is a car analogy, right? The drivers keep their eye on the road, keep their eye on the dashboard, making sure they're going under the speed limit, make sure that their radiator isn't about to overheat, those kinds of things, making sure that they're turning the steering wheel the right way. The navigator, on the other hand, is thinking more strategically. Who is, in the car analogy, they're, thinking about okay, hey, when do we need to stop for lunch? Hey, I'm checking my phone to see if there's an accident up ahead. Those kinds of things, and they're talking to each other, right? So if the navigator knows something, they want to tell the driver what to do. It's like, oh yeah, make this next exit up here because it'll take us on a back road. It'll get us there faster. That's where Starbucks is. Those kinds of things. Now, it's really important in pair programming that the pairs switch roles every few minutes. This prevents fatigue from any one individual who's just, maybe they're typing for too long, or the navigator, has some ideas they want to implement it, but can't necessarily figure out how to tell the driver to do it, or vice versa, right? It's good to be strategic and tactical. So every couple of minutes, the pair trades roles, and also an important part of sort of the rhythm or the cadence of pair programming is to set aside a couple of minutes after a pair has switched to talk about how things went, look for ways to improve. Especially maybe if something isn't going so well, like hey, maybe the navigator is speaking at the wrong level of abstraction, right? Maybe he's being too high level, or being too low level, right? Because the driver could be like, hey, I know the Java language syntax. You don't need to tell me how to sprint, how to spell the word class, for instance, things like that. So when the roles switch, I would discourage the new driver from just doing Control A and deleting all the codes written before and doing it their own way. That's usually not a good use of time, and actually probably speaks to the fact that they weren't a very good navigator when they were navigating. Instead, if the new driver says, I'd really like to refactor this right here, or it's like, what, now that I see this code, now that I'm driving, I don't quite understand what this does. Can we, maybe find a better name for this method? Again, it's a partnership, right? It's not a competition. And so working together is how you get the best solutions. So there are a couple other patterns that I recommend that you consider when you're pair programming. There's something called strong style pair programming, which is really good when you've got two people that have different levels of knowledge about the problem or the solution. In this case, maybe you've got someone who's been programming for a long time and someone who's new to the language, for instance. The dynamic's a little different. It's got to be, right? And so then it's more about sort of teaching either by navigating or teaching by driving, so that each person can get the benefit of either a fresh set of eyes or learning something for the first time. To be clear, in strong style pairing, it's not like the person who's more novice is merely observing what's going on, or the person who's more expert is just silent and then laughing to themselves in the back of their heads, or like getting all upset because it's like, you're not doing it the way it should be done, right? It's a conversation, and so then it means that there's the right level of abstraction when it comes to the communication. So yeah, sometimes I've had when I've been pairing with people, it's like, yes, this is the name of the API, and please capitalize that letter. Other times when someone might know a little bit or figure it out very quickly, and I can very rapidly start going higher and higher in the level of abstraction. One of my favorite quotes from the pair programming literature is that for an idea to go through the navigator's head into the computer, it must go through the driver's hands. So remember, the navigator's thinking strategically, and the navigator's maybe saying, it's like, okay, let's have a test that performs this operation and assert that it returns this value. The navigator needs to communicate that orally, needs to be able to put all that out there in words. And this is a challenge, right? It really forces the navigator to have a good idea and articulation of what it is that they're trying to build. And it's also incumbent on the driver then to be able to listen and interpret the words, and not merely just type the things they think that ought to be typed, but then attempt to understand, attempt to discuss and negotiate with the navigator to produce a solution that they're both happy with. Another pattern for effective pair programming is called the ping pong pairing pattern. Well, that's a lot of alliteration right there. This is all about test-driven development. And in this case, one partner will like write a test and then pass it over to the other person to make it pass. I kind of like this because it's sort of like, I set them up, you knock them down type thing. And so you can do that for a while, and then you can just sort of switch back and like, okay, the next person, writes a test, and then the other person, makes it pass. I found this is a really good way for both partners to understand both the tests and the implementation, and then refactor together. Good stuff like that. So anyway, there's lots of great literature out there about pair programming, what works, what doesn't. Here are a couple of links that I highly recommend that you check out for more detail to inform how you pair program on Wednesday and then the Wednesday following that. Okay. Before we move on, any sort of general questions about pair programming? Anything that come up, after you watch lectures or whatever? Yeah. Oh gosh, I didn't share the document. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Yep. Let me make sure everybody can see it. Nope. I will. Let's see here. Anyone with a link can edit, because there will be some stuff. Thank you. Copy link. Yeah, I'll just put this in Slack. Sorry about that. Here's the link for tonight's programming content. Ooh, how often is this done in industry? I'll be honest, pretty rarely. This is a pattern. Pair programming seems so counterintuitive in so many ways, right? Very few people go into software engineering to work with other people. Let's be honest, right? We like working with machines. Very few managers look at two people working and think that's a good use of money. They're absolutely wrong. It's probably it's the most efficient use of your resources, keeping two people engaged in a conversation. And so then as a result, despite lots of evidence, not a lot of people do this. And so then a lot of people miss out on the benefit. Now, granted, it doesn't work for every organization, and yeah, there's more challenges when you're remote, and people in different time zones, people with different, abilities to, articulate, and different people at different levels of personal hygiene. All of those things are taken into consideration. However, it's, certainly based on my own experiences and the experiences of many other people, there are benefits. It's worth considering. So I hope you have you will have the opportunity to do it in this course, and I hope that you have an opportunity in other places to be able to apply these techniques, because I think it's a great way to learn. It's a great way to get high quality code out there, and it's a great way to build organizational resilience. Thanks for asking. Okay. So, initially, pair programming's been around for 25 years, basically. It was, in the very late, around the turn of the century, they sort of codified the term, and extreme programming introduced it, and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, what? Turn of the century. Am I wrong? Yeah, right. Turn of the millennium? Yeah, I know, right. We're old. I was there too. Believe it or not. Yeah. And so then, initially it really was two people sitting next to each other, sharing a keyboard, passing it back and forth, looking at the same monitors and all of that. Hey, when it's, a coworker that you're familiar with and it's the company's keyboard, sure. In this class, especially after the pandemic, I think we're all sensitive to touching surfaces and things like that. So when we share code, hey, if you want to share somebody's computer, or if someone brings in a USB keyboard or whatever, great. Actually, I might even have some USB keyboards upstairs. But I think what will work better is if we share our code with each other through GitHub, which basically means that the driver will write some code at the end of the time box. They will commit that code to GitHub, and then when the new driver takes over, they will pull the code from GitHub down and start their new round of coding. And of course, it's also a very common technique with remote pair programming, which you, I guess, will have an opportunity to experience next Wednesday if you so choose. I think it's nice to be able to contrast in-person and remote programming. So everybody's going to be in person on this Wednesday. The next Wednesday, you can be in person or you can be remote. And then we'll just pair people up in breakout rooms in Zoom. There's also a feature that IntelliJ has called Code with Me that allows people to collaboratively edit source code. Students have had mixed results with this. It's actually, it's like two people working on a Google Doc at the same time, but you can do it in code. It's kind of neat, and it's something that we experimented with work with for a while. But it's, I don't know, it ends up being more like free for all, and it's not as focused as having a driver and a navigator both looking at the same screen, looking at the same code. So, when we pair program, when we mob program in this course, we'll be doing things called programming kata. So kata is a term for martial art. It is for martial arts. It's basically a little exercise or flow that you do that is meant to be small and discrete, not unlike the koans, but maybe a little bigger. It's basically a small programming problem that is not interesting in and of itself, but it's a teaching tool, right? It's a small programming problem that you use to learn new language or new programming technique, like pair programming or test-driven development, things like that. The goal here is that you're not meant to bang out a solution quickly. This isn't a race, right? You'll see these problems, and they're super easy. It's like, yeah, great. CS 101 could bang that out in 15 minutes, or well, probably an hour in CS 101. But here we're going to be using these little programming problems to explore test-driven development and pair programming using IntelliJ, just doing Java stuff, right? You've done some Java stuff with the koans, and maybe you started project 1, but here's just more experience writing Java code. So, the kata that we'll be working on tonight is called FizzBuzz. Anybody heard of this one? It's they use it sometimes. Use it for programming interviews and stuff like that. To see and observe what pair programming is like, we're going to work in what's called the operating theater. And so you'll be pair programming with me. And so then if some people here in the classroom would like to volunteer, you can do that, or people who are remote want to volunteer. And actually, I realized I didn't prepare something. Let's see here. I need to specify some stuff here. So there is a file, there's the pom.xml in the FizzBuzz class. So anyone who would like to participate in pairing tonight, or just if you're doing it, make sure you've got a checkout of the cause repository, and we'll just say driver or navigator. And what I'll do shortly is ask for people to volunteer to code with me by signing up here in the driver navigator. Role. So if you open up, if you're here in the Kata's repository, and if you go into the FizzBuzz directory and you open up pom.xml, if you would like to code with me, please sign up by putting your first name, your last name in here, and then say whether you want to be driver or navigator. And the driver, if you're the driver, I'll be the navigator, and so I can coach you through what to write. But if you want to be the navigator, you can tell me what to type. So please go and do that. And if you aren't able to, so go in there, edit the file, commit to GitHub, and then commit to Git, and then push up to GitHub. And if you aren't able to push, just let me know, and I will make sure that you are enabled to do so. So while you're doing that, I want to talk briefly about the kata that we're doing. I'll post this in the Slack also. That's kata. FizzBuzz. This is a very simple kata. So the whole idea is that let's say this is a game that you would play as a kid, and it's a numbers game and it's a counting game, and so then the teacher is up there and they're saying out the numbers starting at 1. And then if the number is divisible by 3, I guess it's this back and forth game. So the teacher will say a number, and then you say the number back, unless the number is divisible by 3, in which case you would say fizz. And if the number is divisible by 5, you would say buzz. And so there's this whole ping pong game back and forth. Responding to the number with either that number back or fizz if it's divisible by 3 and buzz if it's divisible by 5. So the whole idea is that you're supposed to write a program that implements this very simple algorithm for saying, hey, based on a number, here's the thing that is said back. And so you have a program that prints the numbers 1 to 100. Well, it goes through the numbers 1 to 100, and then prints out the appropriate fizz buzz. Or if it's divisible by both 3 and 5, it prints out fizz buzz all the way up to 100. So I think that's where we'll leave it. I guess there are, there's some new requirements that we can add. Maybe we'll get to that tonight. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But this is what we're going to be implementing tonight. This is what these katas are like. Right? It's really simple. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you can all see in your head, oh, I know exactly what the solution is. That's great. You're all smart people. I'm glad. But again, the goal isn't just to solve the problem. The goal is to explore test-driven development and pair programming in the context of a very simple problem to solve. So we'll go through some red-green refactor for the FizzBuzz kata. And we're going to work in a series of what are called pomodoros. This is a time management technique in which you basically set a kitchen timer and work in like a 7-minute increment. So you focus on something for 7 minutes, and then you take a couple minutes to do something else. So what we're going to do is we're going to pair with me for 5 minutes. So hey, all you need to do is be up here and code with me for 5 minutes. That's it, 5 minutes out of your life. And during that time, we'll do some pairing. We'll implement a couple of tests, and at the end of the 5 minutes, we'll take 2 minutes just to reflect on what we saw, on what we observed, and then gather some ideas of what to do differently. And then it'll be time for the next person to come up. And so in the transition, the who's ever pairing or who's ever the driver, I guess, will commit the code and push it up to GitHub, and then the new pair will come down, and then we'll go into another 7-minute Pomodoro, 5 minutes of pairing followed by 2 minutes of reflection. And I found this technique works really well to sort of just get people going, but to also see what it's like to work with pairing. And then after we've done a couple of rounds, we'll do a larger retrospective, ask for feedback from the audience in terms of what they're seeing, what they think was effective, and what they think was ineffective. And oh yeah, and by the way, also if you volunteer with me, if you're going to be the driver, if you could join the Zoom and without audio on, and then you can share your screen so that everybody can see it, and I'll show it up here on the projector for everybody in the room. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Any questions about that? Have we got any volunteers? No? No one's volunteered yet? Please do. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for volunteers, I will, well, actually I'll do that off screen. I will add some people to the repository. Please sign up. It'll be much more interesting that way if we have a variety of people to participate. Oh, actually, you know what? Sorry, there was one more thing I wanted to do. I forgot. I had a video that I'm sure will motivate you to. I got one more person I want to add, and then we'll move on. So if you IM'd me during class and said I want to be added to get to the repository, I just added you. And I also forgot that I had a video that I wanted to play back. So this will help. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it'll help or not. I think it does. It's kind of cheesy. Actually, it's very cheesy, but it's gives you a good idea of what pair programming is all about, sort of the person. Let me know if you cannot hear it remotely. Wait a second. There should be audio now. Typing.
Hello and welcome to Fun with Pair Programming, an introduction to pair programming for students. If you're a student who is new to pair programming, you've come to the right place. This video will help provide valuable information to make you the best pair programmer you can possibly be in your classes and beyond. Pair programming refers to the practice whereby two programmers work side by side on one computer, collaborating on the same design, algorithm, code, or test. The pair is made up of a driver, who actively types at the computer or records a design, and a navigator, who watches the work of the driver and identifies problems, asks clarifying questions, and makes suggestions. Switch roles from time to time to share the work evenly and get the most out of your pair programming experience. You'll hear effective pairs constantly chatting as they jointly decide how to tackle the task at hand.
Well, actually, I don't even know where it's saving this stuff. So we create a new patient and it adds a record. Oh,
Alright.
Probably in save data file. Mm-hmm. So it's going through, looks like a list of records.
Mm-hmm. So we probably, since we just added the height and weight, I don't know if that's actually getting written.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
So
why do so many thousands of students around the world prefer pair programming? Why don't we ask some to compare old-fashioned solo programming to this new and innovative system?
Wait, what was the order?
You would program by yourself, so you'd usually be just by yourself in a computer, maybe in a cube or at a single desk, and it's a very lonely type thing. It can be.
Well, it could be really frustrating. You'd sit there banging your head against a desk and trying to find, the missing bracket, or couldn't figure out why the logic in your program didn't quite work right. And with two people there, it's a lot easier to work those problems out a lot more quickly, so you're not frustrated all the time.
This is nothing new either. Most science labs take advantage of lab partners and small groups. Computer science is no different. You can learn a lot from working with other people. Students find it helps them get better scores on programming projects. Pair programming helps them learn, so they get better grades on exams as well. Mostly, students report that they enjoy getting to know the people in their classes better. This makes it much easier to interact when problems do arise, because you've got a class full of friends instead of strangers. Last, but certainly not least, students are much more likely to figure out solutions if they've got someone to brainstorm with. and this can lead to faster completion times and a better understanding of the subject matter. Students often find the whole experience much more enjoyable and less frustrating. Pair programming will also help you prepare for your career in computer science. In the professional world, people collaborate and pair program all the time, and as an expert, you'll already be ahead of the game. Have you ever spent most of your class time with your hand in the air, getting nowhere on a project while you wait for help from your professor or lab instructor? With pair programming, those days are history, and you'll find yourself having a lot more fun. Who knows? Maybe you'll even look forward to the alarm going off in the morning so you can get to class. Now that you know the basics, let's look at some simple do's and don'ts of pair programming. First, be sure to talk. Not a minute should go by when you're not communicating somehow. Don't say anything that might insult your partner. Even if you're only joking, he or she might take it personally. Don't forget to listen too. Both the driver and the navigator should be fully engaged in the project. So much so that the driver can pass the keyboard to the navigator at any time, and he or she will be ready for the switch with no questions asked.
Periodically switch positions so you can gain experience in both roles.
Switching helps prevent errors and stimulates conversation too. Be patient. Be prepared to explain yourself to your partner, and don't get frustrated if they don't understand it first. By explaining your work to your partner, you'll be helping yourself learn as well. Remember the ancient Chinese proverb, "To teach is to learn." And be sure to give the driver a little time to correct his or her own mistakes. After all, no one likes a backseat driver. Respect your partner. The golden rule is key here. Just remember to treat your partner with the same level of respect that you expect from him or her. It doesn't matter if they are from another culture, an introvert, an extrovert, a procrastinator, or the valedictorian. We are all here to accomplish one thing, and everyone has something to offer. Take breaks. You can get more done in 1 hour pair programming than in several hours by yourself. But this can take a toll on your brain. Don't forget to take a break every so often to keep yourself fresh and energetic. When you return, you'll likely see something you overlooked before. Be prepared. Be sure to do any preliminary work ahead of time, and don't be late for appointments with your partner. Their time is valuable, as is yours. Hygiene. Think about it. How would you feel if the person you were going to spend a couple of hours with smelled terrible? Take a shower, brush your teeth, bring some mints. You know the drill. Have fun! Working with someone else can be a lot more fun than working by yourself. You can share a laugh, relieve some tension, and have someone to celebrate with when you get that last test case to pass. Believe me, that's a great feeling. Now that we've gone through all the things you should do as a pair programmer, let's go through some of the things you should avoid when working with your partner. Don't be a keyboard hog, or think that just because your partner is a novice and you're more experienced, that they won't bring something to the table. Don't constantly tell other people what to do either. You don't want to be the only person in the class that no one wants to work with because you're too bossy. There is another side to that coin, so don't be intimidated. Some people are afraid that they don't know enough, but chances are your partner feels the same way, and you both know way more than you give yourself credit for. Trust me, it will all be fine. The primary goal of pairing is to work together towards the best possible solution, so don't be afraid to speak up if you disagree with your partner from time to time. Your partner may as well be working alone if you're not willing to speak up. If you're unhappy with your pair programming situation for any reason, don't hesitate to talk to your professor or teaching aide. That's their job, and they will be happy to help you resolve whatever problem you may have. As you can see, there are many benefits to pair programming, but there are also a few speed bumps. Sometimes you'll find it difficult to find time in your schedules to meet, for example. But students all over the world agree that the benefits outweigh any drawbacks that they can find.
If there's two of you working on it, typically you're spending a lot less time working on it, so this is great for homework. Then also I would say that in general, your solution is going to be better.
So if you're working with somebody and their grade or their deadline matters to you, you're more likely to get your work done at an earlier time. Also with pair programming, you can typically have higher grades on assignments. There's higher quality code as well.
This concludes our journey through the exciting world of pair programming, but there's still much to learn. Take these tips with you into your next pair programming lab and join the growing number of pair programmers across the country, the world, and beyond.
Oh my gosh, Anyway, okay. So then, what'd you think? Any questions before we dive in? Some of the volunteers? I need some volunteers. Let's take a break. Let's take 10 minutes. Let's take till 12. So we'll come back at 7:05. Maybe get like your courage up. Those of you at home, maybe a little bit of liquid courage, whatever it takes. We will we'll see you in a bit. Okay, welcome back from break. Got a couple of people who are signing up. I encourage people to do it. I know it might seem a little daunting and everything, and it takes some courage to sort of get up here and to work with me and to have a conversation. But you'll be much better prepared for Wednesday if you take a couple minutes now, get some experience, see what it's like, and then you'll be giving back to the class because they'll get to see what it's like pairing with me. And again, go to the FizzBuzz directory, open up pom.xml. You'll also get an opportunity to do some stuff with Git through IntelliJ. So for instance, you can use the Git menu to pull down the latest changes. You can say pull, and then, yes, pull from the main branch. Oh, looks like things haven't gotten up to date yet. Kuya, thank you for volunteering. Do you want to be the driver first or the navigator first?
I can be either. Up to you.
Sorry, again, please?
Oh, I can be either.
Okay. How about, do you want to do some typing? You want to be the driver?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. That'll be a good way to start. So I will, I'll just quickly do this. Kuya will be navigator. Sorry, will be the driver. I'll navigate. So, okay, yeah. Do you mind starting off? I know you put yourself down at the bottom, but you're the only person to put it there.
Sure.
Awesome.
I was just, I was expecting a bunch of people. That's why I didn't want to.
I was kind of expecting a bunch of people also. But look at you.
Yeah. Huh.
Staying. I don't know, guys.
Let me see if I can share my screen.
Yeah, I believe I've enabled screen sharing.
All right. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I gotta allow it on my settings.
Okay.
1 sec. Oh, I'll have to reopen Zoom actually. Is that fine?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
All right.
I got installed and stuff. Hey, please back.
There we go. All right.
So
Are you
okay,
able?
let me bigger for students in the room, and I want to. So I'm gonna set a timer. So yeah, we'll start. Let's
All
just
right.
let's do 5 minutes. Yeah.
Just
Let's see here. Does everything seem to be running for you? So let's see
all right.
here.
Give or take.
Okay.
Don't worry
Cool.
about the errors. I'm also running it with visual code in order to push and pull.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Okay.
like,
Yeah, you can also do that from IntelliJ, but maybe we'll do that another time.
yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, okay. So let's get started. So I'd like to take a test-driven approach. Is that okay with you, Puya?
Sure.
Okay. So I don't know. Did you have any thoughts on how you wanted to approach this exactly? Like, what's some of the first code or maybe the first test that you want to write?
Mm, for the Kata code,
Yeah.
let me see.
Well, yeah. It looks like you found the classes like FizzBuzz and FizzBuzz
Yep.
Test.
It seems to not be anything right now. What are we trying to implement? I kind of
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, right. So there was the description of the kata. So the whole idea is that, for each number starting with 1, it should print out that number unless that number is divisible by 3, in which case it'll print out fizz. Or if that number is divisible by 5, it should print out buzz. Or if it's divisible by both 3 and 5, it should print out FizzBuzz.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So I think that's the end solution. Okay, yeah, you're going for a test here. I agree. So let's see here.
So
Nice. Okay, it's telling you things that's already been done. Hooray, AI. Oh, good. Nice.
I
It's divisible by.
let's say 3.
Okay.
And then oh, actually, I don't think FizzBuzz is anything right now. So
Yeah, we
we
probably just got a main method. So what are you thinking here? So like, yeah, I mean,
yeah. So I'm thinking maybe we could have a variable that is holding the number in question.
mhm.
Then we can run some operations on the number.
Yeah, that's cool. And have those operations be in the FizzBuzz class. Yeah. So there you go. So like, yeah, so like the first test case, it seems like so we'll have like some sort of function in FizzBuzz to
Mhm.
then takes in a number and returns the the result of the FizzBuzz.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So
I'm
do
just
you know what test you
slacking.
want to write for that?
Oh yeah, the test. Let's
Yeah.
see. Then in that case, let us make a is our number going to be an integer?
It will be like so let's start with the number 1.
All right.
So, how about our first test be something like, FizzBuzz of 1 is 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's oh, do I pass anything into the test?
No, unit tests, well, these unit tests don't take parameters. Okay, yeah,
And
create a new FizzBuzz instance. Okay, cool.
maybe we pass in 1 and
Well, I don't know. See, because to me, this seems more like a function where it's stateless,
mm-hmm.
right?
Oh,
So you could you just have a method on FizzBuzz that takes in a number and
yeah,
returns a string. Yeah.
I gotcha. And then well,
Yeah, that's what you did there. You say, yeah, invoke a method on FizzBuzz. Why don't you just call it FizzBuzz,
yeah,
right? So FizzBuzz.FizzBuzz of
of
1.
1, let's say equals
Yep.
equals it was this.
Well, in the test, you'll need to do an assert equal,
Oh yeah,
right? You assert that.
equals, that's correct.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, assert that.
Uh, so that Oh, let me look at how you did it for this
Oh,
one.
smart. Yeah. Right. Go use context clues.
Assert that.
And you can also feel free to ask your navigator that too. But yep, you got it figured out.
Yep. Equals. Oh, I don't have the throws in here. Would it be like this?
Well, yeah, the first argument to the assert is call that. So cut that and put it as the first argument to the assert that. No, actually, it's the first argument. So the equals. Take that outside the equals. Nice. And then actually you say comma equals. So you say assert that that. Yep.
Like that.
Comma equal to.
Equal
To to
something like
capital
that.
T. Sorry. Yep, and then parens 1. Okay,
This
we got some red here, so let's just make it compile.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so on the things that are red, just click on them and then do, let's see here, is this a Mac? I can't tell. You say import static method.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
There we
nice. Yeah, do this, and then,
This
just
one.
create that method.
Create this
Nice.
method.
Yep,
We'll get back to that related
and then, do an equal to import static method.
Oh, let's see.
You want the first one. Yep.
Oh yeah, matchers.
Nice.
we
Awesome.
go.
Let's run the test. Let's get red.
We got red here.
There's oh yeah, probably needs to return something. Good point.
Anyway, let me see if I can run this.
Okay.
I'm still a little fuzzy.
That's all right. So to run the test, there on line 17 in the gutter, there's a green play button.
Oh, yeah.
Just click on that and do run.
Missing.
Oh, needs a return statement there.
Yes, it does.
Just put return null or something like that. Just get things to compile. Ha! Damn you, IntelliJ. I don't know if you noticed, but the AI assistant just suggested what the implementation should be.
Yeah.
Nice.
But no,
Nice.
the test worked.
Okay, great. So now we're in the red phase. But let's pause here because we are at the end of the time box. So could you commit your code?
All right. Let me go over to, and I'll call it. Let's say that FizzBuzz 1 in progress, for example.
Nice. Yeah, we commit and push that up to GitHub.
Oh, oops.
Oh, you need to. Oh, yeah.
Stage, commit, sync. Oh, I gotta pull.
Oh, yep, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, probably oughta.
Let's see what's going on with this.
Yeah, you probably need to do a git pull to get the latest changes.
Yep. I believe I can pull from here, right?
I would assume so.
Uh-oh. Let me see what I can do here. Maybe this will work. Maybe it'll help.
Maybe it looks like it's been committed. So now go. Is there a Git menu someplace that you can find?
I have.
You don't need to pull request. Oh wait. What? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. We just weren't logged in.
It's being kind of difficult, but I mean,
well, that's okay because this is a really important thing, right? It's all about how we can, good for you for kicking the tires on this, because people who aren't going through this now might have problems like this on Wednesday and lose precious pairing time.
That is right.
Getting their GitHub to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, try the sync changes, 2 up, 2 down. What does that do?
Oh, 2 up, 2 down?
Yeah, or right there. Yeah, click that.
Open git log. What's going on?
Okay, I don't understand what all that's about.
Yeah.
Oh, it's telling you.
Fetch head.
Yeah, how to reconcile them. So you need to, Can you do that git config pull.rebase faults command someplace?
Rebase false. All right. Yeah, this thing.
Yep.
I'm
Can
pretty
you
sure
execute that command?
Run it somewhere. Maybe in my terminal.
Terminal, maybe?
Oh.
You need to, cd to.
CD2.
It's probably the Kata Summer 24, I think was where it was checked out.
Let me just check CD.
Yeah.
Kata's CD Fizz.
No, you just do it from here.
Oh,
Nice. Okay. Now, just from the command line, can you just do a git pull
oh yeah. Git pull.
and then just
Here
write
we
and
go.
quit? So escape
Oh,
pull and WQ.
hold WQ.
Yeah, I think you're in VI.
Oh yeah. I'll just do that.
Okay, cool. So that merged stuff in, and now you can.
Now I can. Let's,
Yeah, I think you just.
there we
Yeah,
go.
okay. That looks good. Okay. Phew.
Boom.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. That wave blew over our 5-minute time box.
Oh,
But that's the end of the round. Pootie, what do you think? What was that like for you?
I mean, other than the little mishap with GitHub, that was pretty good.
Nice. Like, what did you observe about it? What was it like being a driver?
As the driver, I felt like I had a backup. I felt like I had somebody in the co-pilot seat that could help me out at any time should I run into problems, and I could also brainstorm with them. So it really helped with propelling like the FizzBuzz program in this case. Like if we kept doing this for 5-10 more minutes, it would be done. Yep.
Nice. Thanks, Pooya. Appreciate you volunteering to be first. Let's give Pooya a round of applause here in the room. Golf clapping all around. Awesome. Thanks. Okay. I will take over screen sharing again, and hope someone else has been brave enough to volunteer. So I'll pull down those changes here. Yes, yeah, if you're playing along at home. Did you? Okay. Well, can you get in the Zoom? Do you want to come up and try? We can get you working. We can get the GitHub working, and then we can do some pairing. Okay. That's okay. I can post it real quick in Slack. Are you on Slack? Are you? How can we get you there? I can put it in GitHub. Here, yeah. So here's the 842 901 941 62. There you are. Nice going, Andrew. That's okay. You know, if anyone else wants to get some experience pair programming, prepare yourself for Wednesday night. Just go ahead and commit to GitHub. Thanks, Andrew. Do you mind coming up here and like literally sitting next to me? That way you'll show up on the microphone and everything. So don't join the audio, otherwise we get like feedback aroma here. Cool. Okay. Can you share your screen? you don't mind doing this entire desktop, it's probably easy. Well, actually, no, if you just do IntelliJ, we won't be going back to anything else. Nice. Okay. Thanks. Okay, so have you? Oh, so yeah, you put student. Where did you put your name in the Palm Beach?
I just went in the.
Yeah, student number 1. Cool. So yeah, let's push this up. So it's like you committed it. If you go to the okay, so now if you go to the Git menu and can you push it up? Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Yep, that's all good. So yeah, you push that up. And it's saying that it was rejected remote. Try to say merge. Yep. So merge in the latest changes. Looks like everything was successful. Yep. It says pushed 3 there. So that's, you don't need to create a pull request. Okay. And I'm curious if you, let's see here, can you just do a push again to see if, well, actually, no, wait, I can just verify over on mine whether or not the changes took. Yep, there you are. Thanks, Andrew. And you want to be the driver. Sweet. Okay, let's get 5 minutes on the clock.
Are we doing the same problem?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we're continuing on.
Okay.
So let's see if we can make this test pass. So can you bring up the test again? So I'm going to get here. So yeah, look at that FizzBuzz test. And oh, it looks like your project JDK is not defined. So click up Setup SDK there. Yep, and say, I don't know, add JDK or download. Oh, you probably don't have a JDK on this machine yet. Okay, that's cool. No. Do the download. This is good though. Yeah. Yeah, Java 22 should be good. Nice. Okay, that was super easy. That was nice. Okay. You know what? Can we make some more screen real estate so we can see by turning off? Actually, probably the easiest thing to do is double click on the FizzBuzz test tab, and I think that'll, yeah, double click on that.
Oh, cool.
So good. Okay, and I was still complaining about something. It's got that red number 1 up there. What is it saying? Equal to cannot be applied to int. Well, okay, that's true. Okay, interesting. Because actually, and that's okay because we don't want it to be an int. We want it to be a string. So can you change that 1 in the equal to a string? I guess, yeah, maybe the code didn't compile after all. Oops, yeah.
Helpful.
I know, right? Yeah, there you go. Okay, it seems happier now. And that's because FizzBuzz returns a string.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. Nice. Okay. Well, so what do we got to do to make this pass?
So that we probably need a function of something.
Well, I think we have a function in FizzBuzz,
Oh.
right? So I think we just need to implement
Gotcha.
the FizzBuzz method. So do you know how to navigate quickly to the FizzBuzz class? Yeah, actually, yeah. Nice. Although, well, that was because you clicked on the method, but if you clicked on like fizzbuzz.fizzbuzz,
Oh, there we go.
yeah, like that, right? Yeah, go to declaration. Nice. Oh, here we are.
And then
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. Split screen that. Smart. I like it.
okay, so we're trying to assert that fizzbuzz.fizzbuzz, which is this, is going to return the string 1.
Yeah.
So it takes an integer. Okay, so I mean, well, we could do this, right? But
Yeah. Let's run the test and see what happens. I don't know. Yeah, it's fine.
Probably run the test.
Ah, okay, right. So they're in the gutter. Yeah, you can do that too. Yep.
No, it's not. Let's see, command line.
That's weird. Scroll up. No, interesting. Can you try? There on line 17 in the gutter. There's the play button. Yeah, try that. Yeah. Okay, it's happier now. So I don't know what that thing did up there. Okay, it passed. Yay! Cool. Nice going. Okay, let's write another test. So let's see. I've got an idea for a test, but do you have an idea for a test?
Well, I want to test all different numbers, right?
Yeah. Right.
So one that, I mean, there's what, 2 options, fizz and buzz, right?
Yep.
So, or 3.
We could also do 2. I was thinking, let's do 2 next.
Wow.
Well, you know, you can start to spell in front of people. Let me tell you, it's yeah.
Okay, and this is probably going to be something similar to what
Yeah.
we had before.
Nice. Look at that. Just
God, so
okay.
easy.
I think it knows what problem you're trying to solve. That's fine. Okay. Oh, it you can't run it now. Why can't you run it?
Why? Let's say that.
Because there's no green play button over in the gutter.
Oh. Oh, because test.
Ah, right. Okay, good point.
What's this called?
Annotation. Yeah. Ah, nice. There it is. Yeah. Let's give that a whirl.
Yay.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So let's make a pass.
Wait, those 2? No.
Well, I don't think you need to create a new function.
Oh, true. Duh.
Yeah, it's okay.
So
yeah,
okay,
let's.
So now we have to account for both of these, right?
Yep.
So, well, sure. So if, oops, if get out.
I know, right? Yeah, that's hilarious.
Now
Now I wonder what it's like on your assignments.
Let's just pretend that that's not happening.
I don't know. I mean,
FizzBuzz. Just say 0.
well,
no, 1. Or should we?
Yeah. I mean, you know, here's the thing. Oops. You know as far as the simplest thing that could possibly work, what if we just converted the int I into a string? It would make the test pass.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So, do you know how to do that off the top of your head?
The toString method? Or does that not exist in Java?
It does. That's like on objects and stuff.
Okay.
So
No.
yeah, you can say so. Return string dot value of capital S
right.
string. Right? Yeah. Yeah. It even tells us about it. Thank you.
No,
I think you just want I. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. Let's try running the test again. See what happens.
This is still not. Or no, is that from the previous time?
That was from the previous run. Yeah. Now you got all of them. Now can you run all the tests in the class by clicking up on line 8 that are there? That'll run. Nope. Sorry. 8. Yeah. That's for the entire class.
Oh.
Nice. All 3 tests pass. Super cool. Okay. Awesome. Well, that was into the time box. So what'd you think?
Very helpful to have someone who knows about Java.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, similar to what you said, it's like I don't know, you feel like you just kind of like get stuck in a loop when you're not. Someone is there to like add a little bit to it, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Cool. Andrew, I really appreciate you coming up here. Great. Please check in your code. This is good. We want to build on it. Yes. Great. You go next. Excellent. Awesome. Did you put your did you sign your name in the palm?
I'll do that right now.
Cool. Awesome. Yep.
Time to push his changes up first and then follow.
It's a race to who gets there. Yeah. How about you wait for him to push? Yep. Commit anyway and push. I don't know. I was complaining about something. You are. Awesome. Thanks. Okay. Take it away. Thank you. I don't know. Did you want to be the driver or the navigator? Okay, yeah. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind coming up here so that you can be a little closer to the microphone. Yep, quick.
Oh, that's the stash changes.
Nice.
Hold. Two. Cartridge.
Could you share your screen?
Oh yeah, let me get onto the Zoom
Oh yeah.
first, and then I'll
Yep.
share.
No, did it not? It's interesting. Yeah.
Did it not?
Here, go back to the canvas, and then I'm not sure. And go back to the home, and then scroll down here. There's a link to the Zoom. Oh, you scroll up a little bit. Let's see here. Yeah, that'd be it. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what that other link was. I might not have configured something correctly in Zoom or in Canvas. There we go. Nice. Great. Okay.
We did have some ideas last time. It's like,
Oh, awesome. Yeah, no audio.
okay. Okay. Share my screen. Second here.
Nice. Well, so I noticed you have some red on your screen. It looks like in the top right corner, it's asking you to set up an SDK. So
Oh, okay.
that's cool. Yeah, we did it before. So yeah, up in the top right here, set up SDK. Yep. And then now we got this one. Say I download JDK. And then sure.
I don't know.
And
Hold up.
oh,
Okay.
oh wait, there it is. Installing it. It's still doing its thing. There you go. It's looking okay. It's looking all happy now. Oh, FizzBuzz is underlined now. Why is that? I wonder.
Let's see. It went away.
Okay. Oh, good. All happy now. Great. Okay. Let's kick
So
off.
maybe split screen here.
Yeah.
So one thing I thought about
Yeah.
while you all were working through this is with the way that it's currently we're doing it right now, is that we're just kind of we're just slowly incrementing one by one by one. I was thinking of what if we just used the same test or the same object and just make sure it was the next number in the sequence by just using like a plus plus equals plus plus. I don't know if that's something.
Yeah. Let's give it a try. I like it. So then, yeah, just go ahead and type in. Let's see what we got.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I guess FizzBuzz next increment would be kind of my idea.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And I was thinking to make this work would be to just create one class, to refactor.
Yeah.
Refactor and create one FizzBuzz object that we use throughout the whole process.
Yep.
And from there we could just say that it starts as 1 with the first test. And then every subsequent test, we could just test that FizzBuzz object equals that number plus plus. I don't know if that's something.
Well, right. Schedule the test. I'm not seeing it, but I like where you're going there. So maybe like if we saw it in code, it would make more sense.
Okay, so I'm going to do this. We're going to copy this.
Yeah, just sketch it out.
Yeah, and these might not be the best coding practices, but this is kind of my way.
Oh, so basically like you're extracting a field for that. Yeah, okay, that's cool.
And
Yeah.
is there a number FizzBuzz.FizzBuzz?
Well, FizzBuzz is like the method that you call in the FizzBuzz object to
Okay.
get like FizzBuzz number I. But like, what are you thinking of? Are you thinking like?
That it could equal the next, that we could just see it, assert that FizzBuzz dot number.
Okay, so you can call it 3 times.
Or you
And
can
then-
you can call it and make sure it's the next increment of that. But I don't
Yeah.
know if that's, well, now that I'm talking it out loud.
No, this is
that's
cool though, right? This
exactly
is
kind
what
of
we're
I'm
doing. Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
figure out
Right.
How that's even going to look. So in terms of how it's going to look, I think.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
just, Insert that FizzBuzz dot. What is this? What is this I?
Right. So that's the value of, that's the number that you pass in, and so for like, and then the thing returned by FizzBuzz is the string value of that. So like 1 and 1, 2 and 2, but like 3 would be Fizz.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, so Fizz. Assert that equal. So here's what I was thinking: is like, how would you be able to assert that the number? So asserting that the next number, is the next increment of the previous number.
right.
And I just thought this would be more of a better way in terms of refactoring. So we're not just doing assert that 2 equals to 2, assert that 3 equals to 3, assert, and so on.
Well, and 3 doesn't equal 3, 3 equals Fizz.
3 equals Fizz. But, and I guess we're going to make sure that it's divisible by 3 before we
Right.
declare it as Fizz.
Well, right. That's probably the implementation.
Okay, so
Yeah.
looking at this, maybe we should just go back, continue with what we're doing already.
I think I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you know how to like quickly revert these changes? Not Control Z. Well, yeah, that'll work too. No, but would you like to know?
Yes.
Maybe if we can. So you go up under the commit menu, or the commit section. Yeah, that thing again. Yep. Click on select the FizzBuzz tests,
Sure.
and then up and there's that row of icons. The second one from the left is roll back, and that'll just roll back all your changes.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
No, I like what we did right there. That was cool. Yeah. So let's just do 3.
FizzBuzz.
Love it.
3. Okay. So.
Oh, let's get a couple bonus minutes here. Yeah. Oh, and it looks like things aren't compiling on line 30. You just need a space between new and FizzBuzz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's watch it. Let's watch it turn red.
Okay.
Watch it fail.
Should I just?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and run it. Nice. Nice.
So I guess my previous thought, what I was thinking in the beginning, is something I could probably just think about more, and just to kind of like, so I could articulate it better. Maybe
Yeah.
have like flesh it out.
Maybe. Oh wait, that passed. Oh wait, that's not right. The test isn't right. This is why you always run your test first, right? Because like, wait, that should have failed, and it didn't fail.
Oh.
Because yeah, right, yeah. So yeah, the FizzBuzz of 3 isn't the string 3; it's Fizz.
Right.
Yeah. Oops.
So now to make this fail, we just have to equal Fizz.
Yeah. I think it's capital F Fizz for what it's worth. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's watch it fail. Okay. Good.
Fail
Fizz over
first.
3. Okay. Yeah. Let's
And then now make it pass.
make it pass. Well, no, you don't make it pass by changing the test. You make
Okay.
it pass by changing the implementation.
The implementation. Okay.
Right, yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so the implementation is over on the left, over in the FizzBuzz, in the left, yeah, over there, yep. So the FizzBuzz method starts on line 18.
Okay.
So let's see here. So we need to add some logic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we want to say if I is divisible by 3. So yeah, remember the syntax for that? Yeah, you're gonna need parens first of all, because this is like a C style language, yeah. And so then I space percent 3 equals 0, right? That's divisible. But yeah, I mod 3 equals 0. Ah! IntelliJ, calm down. We're trying to learn test-driven development here. Okay. Yep. And so then I guess I'm gonna need a new first kata. I know that it was right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, feel free to accept me. Hit tab and do that. Yep.
Okay.
And let's see here. It's underlining line 21 in red. How about you hover over that with your mouse and it'll tell you what's wrong. Oh, unreachable statement. And, that's because there's a return statement like two lines earlier.
Right.
So yeah, just move that down. Just right, because I mean, yeah, if it's otherwise, right. So if it's not divisible by 3, then return fizz.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, let's run the test again. See how it goes. Nice. Let's run all the tests and see how it goes. Remember how to do that?
Could you?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Scroll up to the top and run the green play button for the whole class right there. Yep. So that runs all of the tests in the class. Okay. Sweet. Good deal. Okay. Cool. Okay. What was that like? What do you think?
Good. Kind of like have like the rubber duck method.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of feels like that, where the more you talk it out, the more things start to come up with things that you didn't think of initially. That you're just in your head.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's what I found too. It's always good to just have someone talk. Now, I mean, it might be a little artificial because I've done this a lot of times to know kind of where it's going. But this is the kind of dynamic that you hope with pair programming is that you've got people who are having a conversation to work things out. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh, you want to explain what the rubber duck's all about?
I guess the rubber duck method is like some developers will just have like a yellow rubber duck that they will talk to about what issues and what problems they're having, and I guess that helps you start to put your thoughts together and start articulating. You start to see things that you didn't see, that you weren't seeing before. But once you start saying it out loud, you're starting to notice things, that help you solve the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I'm talking to you. It just kind of felt like that. I'm like talking to you. I'm like, wait a minute. Now that I'm talking to you, I'm thinking about stuff's coming up that I didn't think about before. Now I'm able to start to,
Well, and I'm glad you did that too, because I think it's easy for the drivers or to know what to do, and that's a fine way to be as a driver. It kind of helps solidify the driver navigator separation. But you had an idea, and we're really glad we get to explore. And it didn't turn out, and that's okay. We sort of figured out quickly that's like that wasn't it's not the right time for this. But you're thinking ahead, and that's smart. So awesome. Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks. Well, if you commit that code, we'll see if anybody else wants to go. So thank you. Right, and your name is Isaiah. Isaiah. Okay, there you go. Isaiah. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, just do it from here.
Push.
Yeah, commit push. Oh, you just need to put your what is it? Yeah, sorry. This is what you are. This is what will be in the commit message. Just your name and your email, so that it's in the commit message. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Just say commit push anyway. Okay, push it up, and we'll see if. Okay, I think means no one else signed up, which maybe is okay. Oh, did you sign up here?
Yeah, I did. I put my name in there.
Okay. Must just missed it. Wait, oh, maybe I signed up for this one. No, okay. Well, whatever. You can put in there if you want. So sign your name to your work.
Oh, I did. I'll add it.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else want to go either here in the classroom or remotely on Zoom and experience it? Good way to make sure all your GitHub stuff works. Well, right? You guys are all set for next week. Got your IntelliJ all set up. Got your JKs all configured. Oh, nice. Yeah. Puya, did you want to go again? I'm happy to give you another turn. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you want to drive or do you want to be the navigator?
I can be the navigator this time.
Okay. Awesome. I will share my screen then. I'll share my IntelliJ. I'll share my screen. Great. Okay, so let's see here. I have the latest changes. So where do you want me to start?
All right. Let's look at the tests.
Okay.
So we have a test for 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And could you run these tests to make sure they work?
Yeah, sorry, let me just get the FizzBuzz over here. Okay, yeah, and I'll run all these tests. So do that there. Yeah, it's gonna build. It's taking a moment or two. Oh, you start timer.
Oh, I think you can run all tests.
Oh, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't run all of them. That was weird. I was just clicked on the wrong thing. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Everything passes.
Perfect.
That was smart. Yeah, always make sure that everything is clean to begin with.
Yeah, it saves a lot of headaches for later.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you want to go next?
All right. So now that we've confirmed that everything works, we could start working on FizzBuzz of 5, maybe.
Okay, great.
Just going with the trend.
FizzBuzz of
Like,
5.
we could have done 4, but I believe 4 would be the same answer as like 1 and 2.
Yeah, right. It would pass, right? Yeah. Okay, so FizzBuzz of 5 is Buzz.
It would be Buzz.
Yeah. Okay, and I'll run this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Fails.
Fail.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So.
Okay. And any ideas on how you want to implement this?
Let's see. If it's that, well, we can have else if just for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then divisible by 5, I assume.
Yeah. Then return.
Someone just try to join.
Buzz.
Cool. Let's try running this again. Nice. That passed.
Now we could, if you'd like, we could try 15.
Okay. Oops. I know, right?
Yeah.
Of 15. Now I'm wishing that I used numbers instead. It's like I'm writing a check. Anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't autofill that sometimes. There we go. 15 should be FizzBuzz.
Okay. I'm going to use this keyboard shortcut. So on the Mac, it's Control-Shift-R.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay. So it expected FizzBuzz, but was Fizz.
Yep, because Fizz came first.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I was thinking maybe we could have a string and concatenate it with Fizz and then Buzz. And then return it that way.
So like how exactly?
So like if it's divisible, let's see. Or I guess we could just have another if function at the beginning to check if it's divisible by 3 and
Okay.
5. Yeah.
So if I is divisible by 3 and, oops, and I is divisible by 5 equals 0, then return FizzBuzz.
Mm-hmm. And it would be an else if for the next one,
Okay.
just to be more efficient.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oops.
There you go.
Join lines. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice,
Perfect.
that worked. You know what? I want to try something too.
Mhm.
I wonder. Comment this out. No, that's not what I wanted. I wonder if this would work also. Oh, I don't like this code formatting. Sorry. Wait a second. Really hard for me to read.
Well,
Does that work?
I don't think so because of the return statement.
Oh, you're right, because the return. Yeah, nice. Good call.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I suggested the string concatenation.
Oh, is that what the string concatenation was about? Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. This is
I don't
nice and
know.
clear. I'll give it that. You know exactly what it's doing.
Yeah. The string concatenation might be a little tricky to implement.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. I think this is definitely easier to read.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Nice. Okay.
That
Cool.
would be like refactoring for later.
Right. Yeah, that would be a good refactoring for later. We're gonna run them all, and Puya, what was it like the second time around? What was it like being the navigator?
I think it was also informative as this navigator because when you're not hands on the keyboard, a lot more comes to mind, I would say, because you're not trying to like multitask, both think and type. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. Oh, push rejected. That means that someone
Ooh,
else.
there you go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So yeah, thanks, Puya. Okay, question here. Like, what was I trying to do a minute ago? Oh, sure. Yeah, actually, it'd be easier now. So I was thinking, it's like, wait a second. You know, I've got like this logic here, 0, and this logic here, and I'm like, well, wait, I've got the like the same. Is that not the same thing here? And so what I did was like, oh yeah, what if I just deleted this, and instead of having else, if I I'm like, oh, then this would be fizz and buzz. But Puya caught me immediately because I seem like having a partner, right? It's like, no, because it's a return statement, it's going to return fizz. And so if I ran the test again, that's what it is. And what Puya was saying was, yeah, if we could have some sort of like string concatenation or something. But I don't like that. So if I wanted to have like a string builder, SB equals new string builder, and then if it's divisible by 0, I'd do like string builder dot append fizz, and then otherwise I would say SB dot append buzz, and then I would say, if SB is empty, then what isn't like that?
Probably not empty.
Oh, thank you. Well, no, I was going to say if it is empty, then sb.append I.
I see. That's smart.
And then, but it doesn't like is empty because it's a newer API. So I'll just say sb.length equals 0. And then return. So, right, this is another way of doing it, but I think this will work. Yeah, it does. I don't know. It's a different way of doing
But
it.
in the end, it has the same number of if functions. if
You're
we were,
right. It does say, yeah.
yeah.
Right, and I think you sort of have to understand, yeah. So yeah, I agree. This is kind of too tricky, too smart, too cool for school. That's okay. I'll just revert it. Nice. Okay. Thanks, Pooya, and someone chatted me. Yes, thanks, Sarah, for the call out for sp.length equals 0. Yep. Nice. Okay then. Pretty cool. Okay. Did anybody else sign up while we were out? Try this. Yep. Yeah, Isaiah, that's nice. Okay then. Well, that's everybody, and I think we got. I think we've already demonstrated the point, right? So let's take a moment, open up to everybody. So, what did you observe over the last, whatever it is, 45 minutes that we've been pairing together? So, like, what stood out at you, especially if you haven't, if you weren't one of the participants in the pair programming, what did you think, and what are some things that you'll take into Wednesday? Nothing?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said that not having the stuff, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Oh no, I mean, you said that not having the stuff.
Right, like Navigator, it's like it's different when you're, working from somebody else's hands as opposed to your own. Yeah. Nice, okay, yeah. And then,
Talking to me helps you kind of see connection and form new connection. See previously.
yeah, forming new connections, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't see previously that kind of help you come up with a solution that actually also come up with that concrete solution.
Yeah.
So it actually like possibly that.
Yeah, right, is that whole talking. And I think for many people then, yeah, that just allows them to make different connections more quickly. Nice, 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 nice. Okay. Well, everybody will have an opportunity to pair program on Wednesday. So everybody will be here in the classroom, and also well, for those of you who have been in the classroom before, there are 4 projectors around the room, and I got USB cables. So then, if you want to use one of those, make sure that you can plug your computer into sorry, not USB, HDMI. Make sure that you can plug into HDMI, have the appropriate adapter or whatever, and you can use these projectors. If you haven't done so, they're really cool. They project right onto the whiteboard. You can make notes and stuff right next to them. It's good stuff. And I hope you enjoy it on Wednesday. Yeah, question. Groups of 2. So yeah, 4 pairs will be able to use the projectors. The remaining 10 or however many there are will just be sitting next to each other, looking over each other's shoulder. If you want to use the Zoom for collaboration, maybe we'll see how it goes. Yep. I haven't done this with this many students in a long time, so we'll see how it goes. Should be pretty cool. Yeah. And again, please make sure that you have the ability to push the Kata, and make sure that your IntelliJ is set up. So I encourage you to, between now and then, if you haven't already done so, get a checkout of the Kata's repository, and make sure that you can successfully run all of the tests in the FizzBuzz. Okay. The last thing I wanted to cover tonight is Project 2. So, in project one, oops. In project one, we created the fundamental classes for your phone bill application. This is the phone bill and the phone call, and you saw they're pretty straightforward. You get to learn about parsing the command line and working with main methods, writing unit tests and integration tests. That's what project one's all about. Now we're going to start doing something a little bit more interesting with your phone bill, in that we're going to write it to a text file. So one of the things about project one that sort of trips people up is that it's a little too easy. They're like, wait a second, I can create a phone call and a phone bill, but I don't save it anywhere. It's like, yes, be patient, because here it is in project two. You'll be storing your phone bill in a text file. So the whole idea here is to learn how to use Java's facilities for doing I/O, for doing file reading and writing, and you can get more details about that if you haven't already by watching the Java I/O by reviewing the lecture notes for Java I/O and watching the screencast. There will be a couple of new classes that you'll be writing for this project. The first one is called TextDumper. What TextDumper does is it takes the contents of a phone bill, including its phone calls, and writes it out to a destination, ultimately a file. TextDumper implements an interface called Phone Bill Dumper. So I wanted to give you an experience implementing an interface, and so then here it is. It dumps a phone bill, and so it'll inherit a dump method that will take an instance of your phone bill. And the whole idea is that it converts it to a text format of your choosing. You get to design the text format as part of the assignment, and then writes that to a file. Similarly, there is a text parser class that you'll be writing that implements the phone bill parser interface. And what it does is it reads the contents of a text file that was written with a TextDumper, and from it creates a phone call and its associated phone bill. It creates a phone bill and its associated phone calls. So the whole idea is that now you are persisting your phone bill information between invocations of your program. All of this is driven by a Project 2 main class that has the main method. And it has the same command line as your Project 1, but now there is a new option called -textfile. And this specifies where the file should be read from and then written back out to when the program is invoked. Remember, this is an option, so it doesn't have to be there. If -textfile doesn't appear, your program should have the same semantics as it did in Project 1. So again, there are optional options followed by required arguments. There are the same 5 arguments for customer to caller, and then the caller number, the callee number, and the begin and end time. So all that stuff is the same. Some footnotes here. For your executable jar to work, you'll need to update the pom.xml to refer to the Project 2 main class instead of the Project 1 main class. Couple notes that I want to point out. When you run your program, if the text file does not yet exist, this is okay. You got to get started somehow. So please don't issue an error if the text file doesn't exist. Instead, the program should just go about its happy way. It should just create a new phone bill object from the information on the command line, add the call to the phone bill, kind of just like you did in Project 1, and then write the contents out to the text file. Now, note that the text file itself can be, whatever provided on the command line, can be any valid file path. It could be an absolute file path from the file system. It can be relative to the current working directory. It can be in a subdirectory within there. Please don't do any validation or make any assumptions about the file, including its location and its name. So it may or may not end with .text. It may or may not have numbers in it, right? So there's no need to do any validation of the name of the file. You just want to make sure the directory that the file resides in exists. And again, I highlight that in that third bullet. And note that the dates and the times are specified on the command line using the same format as in the previous assignment. You may write in the file format. It's completely up to you. You can use the same format for the dates and times, or you can choose a different format. I don't really care. I guess the only thing about the text file, formatted text file, is that the grader needs to be able to determine that yes, a new call was added to the phone bill. So it can't be binary. It can't be some weird encrypted, format. It should be straightforward enough so that a human who looks at it can say, "Oh yeah, I kind of know what's there," so that the grader can be sure that when a new phone bill is added, when a new phone call is added, that yes, it was that particular phone call is now in the text file. Error handling. Once again, there's lots of things that can go wrong, and so make sure that your program handles them accordingly and exits with a graceful error message. So, for instance, if the command line is wrong, or if the format of the date and time is wrong, or if the text file is malformed, right? If you're given garbage data, make sure that you exit as gracefully as you can. Oh, and here's a new one. If the customer of the phone bill is that's given on the command line is different from the one that's found in the text file, that's an error too. So some additional checking that you'll need to do. Before I talk about resources, any questions about the requirements for the assignment? How this builds on Project 1? Understand how this builds on Project 1 to add some new capabilities? That's due in, what is that, 2 weeks and a couple of days on July 24th? Yeah, today being the 8th. Yeah. Okay. There's an important distinction that I want to call out here in Project 2. So, as you may recall, for Project 1, Project 1 out of the box came with a resource file called readme.txt that can be used to store your README. And resource files are great for storing static text that is displayed in your program. So your README, for instance, right? Big block of text, instead of having to hard code that into Java source code, there's a file, you read the file, well, you use the resource API to get the file, and then you can print out the README with that README option. For Project 2, and you can also, as a Project 2 uses resource files for the README, but it also uses it for some certain tests, and I want to talk about those because this is an important distinction and something that's tripped up people in the past. So, we talked about last time, there is a readme.txt file that out of the box says, readme.txt. It has, there's a readme file, and so you can populate, your readme in this file, and then you can use code like the following from this Project 1 test to get the readme resource as a stream, and then use a buffered reader to read over it. And you'll learn about buffered readers if you haven't already by watching the Java I/O lecture. And then that will get you can read the lines of it, and then you can in this case we assert that yes, the README has the context that we expect. For Project 2, there are, I'm sorry, I'm looking for the tests here, integration tests, or the test, yes. There is a text parser test. And text parser test also uses resources to read these valid phone bill.txt files. So these are test resources. These are resource files that are only used by tests. So here is, it's an empty phone bill file, and here's a valid phone bill, or at least as valid as it gets for the out of the box. And so the whole idea here is that here's a test that reads the resource and then uses the text parser to parse that resource to get a phone bill, and it asserts that the customer of the phone bill is, well, the first line of the file. The reason I include this is that I encourage you to follow the same pattern of having a resource file that contains like a phone bill file that you want to parse and validate in a test. And so you can imagine one way to approach Project 2 would be to design your text file format in a test-driven approach. So, for instance, the first thing that you would do is get the customer, and then maybe the maybe the second line is the caller phone number. So 503-123-456-7, right? Something like that. And then what you could do is augment these tests to say something like, okay, let's see here. I guess you would say bill.getCalls, and then I'll put this in a variable, or factor, extract variable, call it calls, and then I would say that assert that call, well, go get the call, let's say phone call equals calls, I gotta do this the hard way, iterator next, gives me the call, and then I would assert that call.getCaller is equal to 503-123-456-7. Right, and this way you can build up, and this way you can build up the implementation of your text parser. So I try to run this right now. It's going to fail because it doesn't create phone calls, right, when it reads the file. But this way I could build up the implementation of my text parser in a test-driven method, test-driven way, right? Get phone calls isn't implemented yet, and so you'll need to do that. But the whole idea is that you're working off a resource file for doing testing. And so test files and the README are great uses for the resource files. And you use the resource API, this whole get class of get resources stream, to get the resource files. It works really great. However, the resource API should not be used for accessing the files that are passed into the command line. These are the user files. So instead, you should use the file API or the path API or something like that from to then work with the files that are passed on the command line. I've had a number of students over the years that really haven't understood the distinction. This is part of the assignment, to understand what the difference between a resource is and just using a file. But I wanted to call this out here because, again, it's something that's tripped up some people in the past. Any questions about resources or anything in Project 2? Okay. Well, I'm assigning this to you now, so that hey, if you're one of those people that likes to get ahead of the curve, and I hope that you are, be thinking about how to do this sooner rather than later. But this is the way it works. We've got a couple of things that are all assigned at the same time, and we'll so you need to balance the various projects that are going on. Okay. Let's see here. Anything else? Nope, that was everything I wanted to cover tonight. So if there aren't any more questions, let's call it an evening. I will see everybody here on Wednesday for our first pair programming exercise. Stay cool, everybody. Have a good evening, and I'll see you soon.